Hi, everybody. This is Erica from In the Company of Cards. If you're new, welcome. If you're old, welcome back. Um, this will be quick. Just a couple of things I wanted to look at on this Friday. First, I wanted to uh, note that I said that Comey would indeed be indicted. He has been indicted, but it wasn't really for the charge that the felon originally wanted him indicted for, which was the whole Russia thing. Instead, he got indicted for something related to Hillary Clinton. It's very murky and old news and nothing that anybody's interested in, including, by the way, the felon. The only reason that Comey is being indicted on that charge is because it's the only charge that he could conceivably be indicted on, and even that is stretching things. And the point is that I don't think I don't think the felon cares what the charge is. He just wants Comey indicted because being indicted um, can ruin your life. And that's what he wants. He wants to put Comey through the ringer. I mentioned yesterday that I didn't think he would be able to be indicted on of those charges that they were looking at. That was accurate. I also said that the indictment would move forward, but that in the fullness of time, here's my expression again, um, the case will fall apart probably when there is a regime change, because, it takes a long time for this thing to wend its way through the courts. So by that time, I think we will be well into a regime change. Nobody will care about indicting Comey, and uh, the thing will fall apart. So I'm sticking with that theory. I guess what I'd like to pull cards on today is the big brouhaha over the government shutdown, which is conceivable the middle of the week because today's the 26th. Um, the 30th, I think, is the last day. After that, we would need a CR. We know that term by now, continuing resolution, meaning an agreement to keep the government running while everything continues to be hammered out. So apparently, the Republicans proposed a CR because obviously they don't want to shut down because it makes them look bad. And Russell Vogt, who is one of the bad guys in this sad, sorry saga. He runs the Office of Budget Management, and he is also one of the primary architects of Project 2025, threatened the Democrats by saying that if the Democrats did not agree to the Republican proposed CR, continuing resolution, to keep the government open, he would order just massive, massive cuts of people, layoffs of people. Um, the response from the uh, Democrats, I mean, having learned their lesson already, was to say, well, I mean, you've laid off tens of thousands of people already, hundreds of thousands of people, you could argue, but now tens of thousands of people already. No, yeah, hundreds of thousands have been laid off. Because I know it's 300,000 Black women alone from the federal workforce. So, because not only have you laid them off, Russell Vogt, now you are begging them to come back because nobody competent can do those jobs. So, sell your wolf ticket, be the boy that cried wolf, talk about what you're going to do. We're not going to budge. We're not going to agree to keep the government open. Now, you remember last time, um, Chuck Schumer folded and the C.R. was passed. He gave 10,000 reasons why it would have been a terrible idea for there to be a shutdown. And, listen, to be fair, it is a terrible idea to have a government shutdown. I mean, how's that like a good thing? On the other hand, um, it may be the only weapon in this particular battle that we have is to say, well, then shut the government down. You're jamming up everything else. You've destroyed everything. Go ahead, shut the government down. In the hopes that those people who are still asleep will start to wake up. So I guess I just want to look and see what will happen with the government as of, wait, I have to look on the calendar and see. I feel like it's Wednesday or Thursday, but let me just to be sure. I'm looking in my magic rectangle, and that will tell me what I'm looking for. Okay, Tuesday. Ooh, Tuesday is the 30th. The first is Wednesday. So the 30th is the last day that the government is funded. That's Tuesday. If there would be a shutdown, that shutdown would be starting Wednesday, the 1st. There'll be a lot of talk and discussion, and you can watch C-SPAN probably and see it all happen in real time. But I'm going to use the tower that will stand for the government, and let's see what happens on the 30th and the 1st. We'll lump them together and see what we see. All right, so we're looking for the tower that will stand for the government, and we want to know what's going to happen during the 30th and the 1st. Okay, so the original five cards are the woman, the crossroads, the tower standing for the government, the rider, and the dog. So, hmm, this is a yin card, a receiving card, a relative to yang, a more disempowered kind of an energy. Um, Second card is the crossroads. Which way to go? Choices, choices. Do we fund the government? Do we not fund the government? Okay, back and forth. Uh, and the message in those days will be, well, this will be lawyers talking back and forth, but I don't think in any kind of effective way on those 2 days. So here we have this card again. The clarifiers are the garden, the snake, and the ship. Well, again, this speaks to that disempowered thing. I mean, it doesn't serve either side for there to be a shutdown because people will blame who they want to blame, right? Whichever your side is, that's the side that you're going to blame. Um, the garden is the people. This is going to cause problems for the people moving forward. So this to me intimates that there will be, in fact, a shutdown. crossroads, choices, birds, anchor, and then young man. So, of course, there's going to be choices that are going to have to be figured out. Like, well, what should the budget look like? What kind of concessions can people make? This is about all the meetings that they will have. But here, this is a real intransigence. I think that each side will stick to its guns, which, by the way, not for nothing, as they say in Jersey, where I used to live, that's good for the Democrats for once to stick to their guns and say, you want to shut the government down, felon, then you do it. You want to do mass layoffs, Russell, vote, do it. You know, now we have the government in the middle, and the clarifiers are the coffin, the stork, and the lily. I mean, listen, this is a government coffin. I mean, nobody likes a coffin, but I don't know. I feel like this is serving as transformation. People love to tell me, oh no, the card for transformation is the snake, it's Kundalini energy. No, this is a European system from the late 18th century. They were not thinking about Kundalini anything. This is the card for transformation. Could it be uh, that people are disturbed enough by everything that the Democrats have grown a backbone? Because Stork and Lily are good cards. The Stork is about positive change. The thing that's confusing is the Lily, because the Lily is a very peaceful card. It's a card of peace, ease, maturity, all of that. I love that. And I love that I can mirror it with the Tower. But I don't necessarily see that. I'm not going to go so far as to say there'll be peace in the valley and everybody will come together over this. I don't think so. But I do think that the Republicans, it's like because they're bullies, are going to realize that they can't play the same bully game with the same bully tactics because the Democrats, thanks to the people, are growing a spine. Are growing. I didn't say have grown, are growing a spine. Here we have the rider, and that's a message, news coming in. And we have the bouquet, the book, and the mice. Well, this is the message coming in. This feels to me like the budget, right? Because this is the allotment of resources where they need to go. And I mean, there will be a shutdown, and it could be for a little while because remember that the book is about things we don't know. They don't know how to resolve this, and they are they are scared, right? I mean, nobody wants to anger the public, and both sides have the potential to do that. So they're acting out of fear here. Um, My hope, of course, is that it's the Republicans who act out of fear, fear of their constituents, who are already saying, what's up with CK? What was it? What was that? What's up with that thing that happened in Dallas? And who wrote that on those bullets? People, as I said in my Substack, people are starting to really wake up. So we know the Republicans are afraid to even go to their home districts and meet with their constituents. So this works to our favor. I like that. Uh, then we have the dog, the young woman, the ring, and the mountain. Well, you know, the people need to be helped. The people need to be represented by their representatives the right way. You need to be able to trust government. We cannot do that. Um, the trust has been weakened. And so these two cards feel, in a lot of ways, very similar to me. They go round and round and round and round and round and round in a circle, and they're at an impasse. They're at an impasse. Uh, I drew a three-card postscript. We have the whip, the scales, and the child. So, I mean, I think they really work at it because every hour that the budget is not passed means resources are not allotted and it's dangerous. So they will work very hard. Um, this is a justice. What is equitable? What is fair? I don't love this card at the end. I don't love it that it's at the end because it just feels as though um, there will be little justice in this budget. Eventually they will pass it, obviously. I mean, you're not going to have a budget shutdown forever, but there will be a budget shutdown. Hopefully, the right people will be blamed for it. But people will, I mean, there's suffering attached to a budget shutdown. But this is an opportunity for Democrats to flex a little bit of muscle that they have by saying we're not passing your budget, notwithstanding Russell Vote's threats. So I would say strap in, um, get your provisions, popcorn, wine, whatever, because this is going to be a bumpy ride. We've known for a while. I mean, I told you months in advance that September was going to be a rocky road, and it is. So this is the next uh, little bump in the road, which will be the budget. I'll probably come back tomorrow. I don't know. I might see how 40's the felon, that's what I like to call him now, how the felon is feeling, what he's thinking about, how his physical health is. So I may look at that tomorrow. I have a guest coming on Sunday, a Canadian friend of mine, who's written a really lovely book. So I hope you'll watch the Sunday conversation. And I probably will see you for a little bit tomorrow. All right, take care, everybody. Happy Friday.